Hello. Today, a very nice three mover, mate in three moves, Milan Velimirovic. He was a grandmaster, a FIDE grandmaster for composing and also FIDE grandmaster for solving problems. He made wonderful problems. He was very active. He published some magazines and also he built a website. The place is named matplus.net, matplus.net, N-E-T, and I think everyone is invited to visit this. It is very interesting for everybody who is interested in chess problems. Now we'll have a look at this three mover that is a very interesting and intricate one. You are invited to solve it. White is down, the white pawns go up, the black pawns go down, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, like this, and from down to up it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and each square is named due to its place on the board. We have a look first at the cage of the black king, and we see that there is no flight. Every single square around the black king is guarded by white or blocked by black pieces. The white rook on h5 is controlling h7, h6, g5, f5. f5 is blocked by a pawn and is also controlled by the knight g3, and the knight g3 is also controlling the h5 square where the white rook is standing. The f6 square is controlled by the rook f8, by the bishop e5, and blocked by the pawn f6. And also the queen b2 is controlling potentially f6. The f7 square is controlled by the rook f8 and by the bishop b3. Bishop f7 would be a mate if there was no black bishop. g7 is only blocked by the pawn and no white piece is controlling this square. So we have a complete cage of the black king that is organized at the diagram. We have some tries that are threatening a mate in one. So we'll have immediately a look at them. c8 knight in order to threaten on e7. The only defense is queen takes on b4, and it works. The second try, bishop to e6, threatening a mate on f5. If black plays bishop to d7, you will mate on f7. The defense against bishop e6 is rook f1, controlling f5. The third try is knight f3, threatening on h4. And this is answered by two black moves. One is queen to b4, controlling h4, and one is rook d1, check. These are the three tries that white have to understand well. Now white will want to give the white queen an access to f6. The reason why they want to do so, if queen gives check to f6, the black pawn will be obliged to take, and then you will have a mate with rook g8. To defend against this threat, black have two main moves that will check. The first one will be queen to a1, and the second one will be rook takes b2. Let's have a look at these moves at the diagram. What happens if black plays now queen a1 And what happens if black takes the queen in the set position? We call that the set play. So queen a1 is followed now by c8 knight that is threatening to e7, and now the queen cannot access b4, and then it will be mate at the next move. If black takes the queen, then the rook will not be able to go on the first rank, and then bishop e6 threatening on f5, and there is no defense. These are the two main moves we have to check in the set play. Now, how can white threaten to go with the queen on f6? Just they have to move the bishop or on d6 or on f4. And then you will have the threat queen takes on f6 followed by rook g8. Let's have the first attempt. Bishop to d6 threatens queen f6 check, pawn takes f6, and then rook g8. We have to check now the three white moves that are threatening mate in one, and to see why now they are not threats. After bishop d6, some black lines have been cut and some black lines have been opened. I showed them. The line b4 e7 is no more active for black, and also the line d1 d8 is no more active for black. But in the same way, the line b5 f5 is now opened, and also the line e1 to e7 is now opened. So the move c7 c8 knight that would threaten on e7 is not a threat because of rook e1, and not now because of queen takes b4. The move bishop to e6 threatening on f5 is not a threat both because of rook f1 and because of queen takes b5, because the line is now open. The move knight f3 threatening on h4 is no more defended by rook d1 because the line has been closed by the key, but is only defended by queen takes b4. So the only threat is queen takes f6. And then on queen a1 that is defending, now you have knight to f3 threatening on h4, and black has no defense against this. And if the rook takes on b2, now you have c7 c8 knight threatening on e7, and black has no defense. Not on b4 because the line was closed by the key, and no more on e1 because the rook doesn't control anymore e1. So what is the refutation? Now black has a move that we did not yet show, that is knight to d7, that controls f6 and doesn't spoil the black lines, and then it's a refutation. No white move can be possible for a mate now in 2. So we go back and we try the second white move, bishop to f4, and again we have the threat queen f6 check, g takes f6, and then rook 8. And again the lines are now changed, and we'll see that immediately. If white plays c7 c8 knight to threaten on e7, you will have now two defenses, rook to e1 and queen takes b4. If white would play bishop to e6 threatening on f5, you will have only queen to b5 and no more rook f1 because the line is closed by the key. And if white plays knight f3, you will have only rook to d1 check, because now the fourth rank has been closed by the key. let's have a look at the defenses that black can play against the threat queen f6. Queen a1 is now followed by bishop e6, threatening on f5, and the queen cannot anymore control f5. And if rook takes on b2, the knight will play on f3, threatening h4, and you will have no more check to the king with rook d1. So it works. And also because the key closed the fourth rank. The last point is to see what happens after knight d7. And here we see that knight d7 has the same effect as rook takes b2, because it closes the line and you have no more check to the white king. So after knight d7, white can play knight f3, that will be followed by knight h4 mate, with no possible defense by black. So bishop f4 is the key and is the solution of the problem. The content of the problem, as you could see, is quite intricate. You have three positions for the white bishop: on e5 on the diagram, on d6 on the try, and on f4 on the solution. And you can see that you have different lines that are open and closed. When the bishop is on e5, the line b5 f5 is closed, and also the line e1 e7. When the bishop is on d6, the lines b4 e7 d1 d8 are closed. And when the bishop is on f4, the line b4 h4 is closed, and also the line f1 to f5. Each time when the bishop moves, it opens the two lines that are going through e5, and each time it closes two other lines that are going through or d6 or f4. After the moves rook takes b2 or queen to a1, you have changes of the answers between the three plays we saw: the set play, the try play, the actual play. On the two moves, you have a cyclic change. If you call the three white moves c8 knight and knight f3 and also bishop e6, if you call them abc, after the two black moves you will have ab, and then on the try play you will have bc, and in the solution you will have ca. So AB, BC, CA. It's a very complex pattern, very ambitious work, and very well done. It's a problem that is an important milestone in the composition. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see next time for another problem. Thank you.